Hey guys, welcome to another video on my tabletop, and my name is Tom. All right, you put that together in any order that you want. I don't really have any preference. Let me know in the comments what you came up with. Any hoot, let's talk about scissors. We all want to carry scissors, don't we? I'm pretty sure most of us want to carry scissors. Well, at least that's always been a goal that I've had as well for as long as I can remember. And let's just kind of start out through some of the ones that I've used that have been successful. This is how I carried scissors for many years because my multi-tool of choice, actually the multi-tool of anybody's choice really, didn't have scissors way back in the day. And I carried scissors with a trusty Swiss Army knife, and I have used the snot out of this one. There's nothing, collectible about this one left. I mean, it is well used, but the main thing that I used this for was the scissors. I carried a multi-tool, and then I used this for my scissors. This particular one, I believe, is called the Hunter. You know, a model that does have full-size scissors. I carried these for many years, used this this knife for many years back in my beer drinking days, and I suppose that this is the only one that I've ever used the can opener on. Out of anything I've ever I've ever owned, I would say that the can opener on this thing got a fair bit of use, you know. And I've recently carried this a few times in recent history. In the last, couple of years or something, I've thrown this in my pocket when I've needed scissors, or just, a pocket knife that I could easily carry without weight. Like if I was wearing dress clothes or something, I still have a tendency to go to a Swiss Army knife for that kind of thing. But so there's one of the options that I used, and these are very good scissors. I just kept sharpening them over the years, and they have a screw so you can so you can tighten them. So I've just over the years sharpened them and tightened them and adjusted them. And these scissors here from our boys at Swiss Army have never let me down. Very good scissors, and definitely one of my favorites. But this is a little bit big, and when you're carrying a multi-tool, all of this is redundant. Just about everything in this thing is redundant to a multi-tool, so there's really not much of a reason to carry this. Ooh, man, that toothpick looking a little. Oh, this toothpick's looking a little scary. I might need to put a new toothpick in here. Even if I could get this toothpick out. I guess I'll get to that some other time, but used the tweezers a fair bit on this thing. A time or two that came in handy. And I remember a particular time I built a 110 ATC for my kids and rolled it over into a cholla cactus and used these tweezers right here to pull out the thorns, and my multi-tool to pull out the big ones, the big chunks. Talk about a painful lesson. That was a very painful lesson. But yeah, memories, lots of memories right here. So then I moved on to this. This is one of the things that I moved on to. This is the Schrade Chirp. This is a long discontinued item here, but I used the bejesus out of this. This has got, a couple of obligatory little blades, but most of the things that used on here were, just for cleaning your fingernails, underneath your fingernails. I used all of this for that. And I believe there's a can opener here, a bottle opener, which is, you got to always have that on multi-tools for some reason. But one of the most useful tools on this thing that I always found myself going to, even after I stopped carrying this, is this little fingernail file that you can pull out. This is just the handiest little thing ever, man. And I always felt like it gave you the ability to carry a fingernail file in more of a manly way. It's kind of tucked in here, hidden. You could go off into a dark corner and pull out your girly fingernail file and file your nails. But man, you can see how much I've used this. I don't know if you can pick that up in the camera, but this is a well-used little file, and a well-used tool for that matter. And one of the bad parts about this tool is that it was made out of some pretty soft steel, and if you cut anything hard with it, like a zip tie or something like that, you were pretty well guaranteed to bugger it up. And there wasn't any way to take it apart so you could fix it and sharpen it. So I always had to improvise, and I've had to fix this thing numerous times. When you get a burr and it hitches into get along and whatnot, and grab this right here. But even to this day, after many, many years of abuse, this thing is, let me see if I can show this. This is last month's, but it's still, still cutting, halfway decent. Not great. Definitely not great. It never was great. I mean, even day one, this was not the best pocket scissors. They could have been if they would have just, and I guess it's just not good at cutting whatever this is. This paper from Harbor Freight, holy smokes, what is this anyway? It's kind of hard to cut, but it feels sharp. But you know what? These are just never great to begin with, and I think it's, over the course of time, these blades have come farther apart, and there's no way to adjust them. So anyway, kind of a classic one that I carried in my pocket from way back in the day, many a years, many a time. So there's that one. And then here's a blast from the past. Here's one that's a blast from the past for sure. I don't know if any of you have ever seen one of these, or maybe you have, I don't know. But this here is the Pocket Buck, what do they call this thing? The Buck Light? No, the Buck Mini Buck? The Mini Buck. But basically this was kind of a combination of their Buck Light, kind of the same thing. It kind of opens the same way. You see how it kind of opens, like the old Buck Lights did. Kind of like that, tumbling over. And then this thing is just a miniature version of that with basic hygiene tools in it. It's got a little pen knife right there, a thing to dig out the dirt, a little tiny fingernail file right there. Oh, and of course the bottle cap opener that looks so fragile that it would snap right off if you tried to use it. But this is a lot smaller than it looks in the video, I'm sure. This thing is super tiny, but check this thing out. Since the subject of this video is scissors, I just had to show you guys this. Look at this. Look at this right here, would you? Look at these little tiny scissors, man. It's crazy, but believe it or not, they work. You're not going to win any contests with these, but they work. And this is a pretty rare collectible right here, especially in the condition this one's in, because I bought this and then didn't really ever use it. And then it's got a little pair of tweezers right there that you have to really bear down on to use. That was one of the complaints of this thing, but useful tweezers nonetheless. They work. But here's a blast from the past. It's a real rare collectible. Little tiny pliers on the end, for doing nothing. Basically, this was just a novelty kind of thing, but it was cool, and it's worth some money these days for sure. But I just thought I'd show that to you. I may do a Buck tools or a Buck multi-tool video in the future to kind of show you some of the other ones in my collection. But yeah, I'd show that. And then they had this little sleeve right here that this kind of popped into right there. So that's another one from the past. And some of my newer ones that I carry that are in my current rotation is the SOG. This is the ultimate pocket scissors in my personal opinion. This is the best one that I've ever found. It works the best for everything. The only downside to this right here, this tool, is that the steel is a little more fragile than you would want it to be. I believe it's 5 CR MOV or something like that. It's a Chinese steel that's a little bit easier to ding up than you would like, so I'm careful with them. But as far as their cutting ability, I would put these things right up there with the Surge, you know, with the Leatherman Surge. If the Leatherman Surge is the absolute best scissors that you can possibly get, pocket-sized scissors, these are right there with it, except for the durability side of it. I think that the Surge scissors are a little bit more durable than these, but if you have a multi-tool that you're carrying, a lot of times I'm carrying a multi-tool that does not have scissors, and I'm not going to let that stop me from carrying a great multi-tool. I'll just throw these into my, into my pocket. And the great thing about these is they have a great pocket clip. You know, you just put these right in your pocket, and you just go on about your day. And there's a couple of other tools in here as well that I've never used. But of course, you got the obligatory, you got to open up your imaginary bottles, that you can just twist off. But yeah, so you've got that. And then you've got a toothpick, a plastic toothpick that's not replaceable. So that's nice. You go digging around in places you shouldn't be digging around. This is not replaceable, but like I said, I don't use any of it. And over here is a little pen knife, and it's actually a pretty good pen knife. It's got a cool shape to it, and it's sharp as a dickens, and it's not chisel ground. How often do you see little tiny blades like this? They're chisel ground, and it just ruins your day. Nobody wants a chisel ground blade. I had to check the camera, make sure it was still recording. Can't really see the screen from this angle on the dangle. So that's my favorite. That's my favorite, and I don't know why I started with my favorite. So it's like the rest of this video. Why watch it at this point? I'd turn it off if I was you, because there's no better pocket scissor than these right here. And these are getting harder and harder to find. I'm going to buy another set because of that, because they're hard to find. I just got these as a replacement to my last pair that I kind of buggered up so bad that they just became, not very usable. So that's my current one, and this is also a current one that I carry on a regular basis. This is the SOG Q1. I've mentioned this in a video haphazardly because I didn't really remember what the hell I was talking about as far as the nomenclature. But again, I love this thing because it's a pen. I need to carry a pen, so why not double up on those two situations? And I carried this a lot until I found the Achilles heel of this one, and I'll tell you what it is so you know up front. Pocket clip, love the pocket clip, love the fact that it's a pen. The pen works really well. The refills are the same as something or another that's a popular pen, but it's only blue. I can only find blue ink for the pen, which I'm not super thrilled. I don't prefer blue ink, but something to keep aware if you're interested in this, that it's hard to find black ink for this. Yeah. And again, the obligatory, for no good reason whatsoever, cap lifter built into the end, which is really becoming comical these days, is how everything has to have a cap lifter because nobody has any imagination anymore, I guess. But basically, you pull these apart like that, and then boom, you've got a really nice pair of scissors, and I mean a really nice pair of scissors. These are great. They work. you know, let me see if I can get to a point where you can see what I'm doing. This is some weird paper here in this Harbor Freight catalog here, I'll tell you, that's, you know, difficult to cut. But it cuts really well. Trust me that, man, this weird paper, I don't know what the deal is. It's got wax on it or something. But anyway, it cuts quite well. Trust me on that. I did have some paracord for all you people that absolutely must see a pair of scissors cut paracord. I don't cut paracord with scissors, but apparently all the EDC bros on the internet do. So I don't know. And that's the only quantification for scissors is cutting through paracord, apparently. But I am not going to be part of that. It's ridiculous to cut paracord with scissors. Shears maybe, but not scissors, not pocket scissors. The Achilles heel to this thing is this, that I discovered just by using them. You go to cut something that's got a little bit, you know, it's a little bit thicker. And how I first discovered this is I was cutting some Cordura, some I believe 800D Cordura, and I was making a cut on some 800D Cordura, and you know, you have to push into the fabric to get it to cut. And look at that. Did you guys see what happened? Okay, let me show it to you again in an angle that you can see on the dangle. All right, pretend this is a thicker than normal material that you would be cutting here. Probably happens to some of us pretty rarely, but it does happen. But you're cutting, and God, man, it's hard to do all of this and get it to where you can see it. But if you're cutting, let me just do it this way so you can see the effect, so I'm out of the way. But you're cutting on something and that handle slides down. Did you see how that handle slides down? Now the scissors don't work. You see what I'm saying? Now you've got no scissor action. And this happens pretty rarely. Like this isn't something that normally happens, but if they would have designed this with some sort of lock instead of allowing that to slide in like that, that's what kind of ruins these, man. Not ruins them. They're still great scissors, and I do carry them a lot. I just know of that limitation. So you basically have to kind of choke up on them like this and prevent that handle from coming down if you're cutting something heavy duty. But these are great scissors. They cut really well. I've used them a lot. As you can maybe see in the video, they're pretty well used. They're easy to sharpen. They do have an adjustment right there with an Allen key. You can take them completely apart, which I really love that about scissors. I don't generally take them apart because these ones open up wide enough to sharpen. But when a pair of scissors has an adjustment of some kind or a way to take them apart, those are the only... I've learned my lessons over the years, you know, where you've got scissors that you can't take apart and you can't adjust, and you can't sharpen very easily. This is what I'm looking for now. And you'll notice that there's not a Leatherman Micra on the table because I don't have one. The biggest thing about the Micra that I don't like, and I'm sure they're great, a lot of people praise them, is that they don't have a pocket clip. I really want a pocket clip. And then finally, here's something it's on my keychain at all times. This is the Swiss tool finger clipper tool, yada yada. I like this quite a bit. I just carry this around on my keychain all the time. It's got my, toothpick right there that is replaceable. SOG, replaceable. Tweezers, yada yada. But in a pinch, if I have forgotten my scissors, I don't know who I gotta. But if I forgot my scissors in a pinch, there's a pair of really good scissors right there. One of the main reasons to carry this on my keychain, and the fingernail clipper. I do find myself buggering up my fingernails a lot more in my old age these days. But got me a backup pair of scissors that's just on my keychain at all times. and I like that quite a bit. Swiss Army, something or other. There'll be links in the description for any of the things you see in my video in case you want to check it out or you like it. But I really do love this. I just got this, man, and this has been a lifesaver for me, man. This is a little telescoping pen that I keep on my keychain as a backup, just like these scissors here. Keychain backup, keychain backup. This is not my regular pen, but man, has this saved the day on numerous occasions already, man. When I forgot my pen, booyah, I remember I've got one on my keychain that's actually capable and works really well. Highly recommend that. Forget what it's called, link in the description again. I highly recommend getting one of these. This is like one of the most impressive pens I've ever had. I like this a lot. As a matter of fact, I'm going to buy me another one just to make sure that, you know how some things you like and then you go back to get them again and you can't find them, they don't make them anymore. Well, we can't have that with this, so I think I'm going to buy me an extra one of those to make sure I have those because I really like that. It's also the reason why I'm going to buy another one of these as a backup because I can't see a pair of scissors getting any better than these. And I don't know why I'm telling you that because you're going to go and buy all the ones off of Amazon and I'm not going to get another one. So I think I just shot my toe off, but I do already have one, but I'm going to get another one. All right, guys. Well, that's just kind of a scissor talk. We just talked about scissors for, holy smokes, 22 minutes. But, hey, that's all right. That's what this is all about, just chatting about stuff and, you know, making time go by as best we can in these crazy times. We'll talk at you on the next one on that end.